She remarked, "I'm not your possession. I can converse with anyone I choose." This was after I caught her sending texts to her ex at 2 a.m. I replied, "You're completely correct." Then I ensured she had all the liberty she desired by taking action that altered everything. She understood her mistake when she woke up to discover her belongings packed and a notice to vacate. Hey guys, big thanks to everyone who's been backing the channel. But just a few of you have actually hit the subscribe button. So if you like what you're watching, make sure to tap that subscribe and help us keep going. This occurred 3 weeks ago, and I'm still astonished at how quickly things can shift when you stop being a pushover. I've been with my girlfriend Ashley for 3 years. She moved into my apartment 8 months ago when her lease ended. We share the costs of utilities and groceries, but the lease and everything else is solely under my name due to my better credit. Recently, Ashley has been acting strangely. Her phone is always face down, she stays up late claiming to be watching videos, and other typical suspicious behaviors. Last week, I got up to use the bathroom around 2 a.m. and caught her texting someone with a huge grin. I asked her who she was chatting with at that hour, and she got defensive, insisting it was none of my business. She flipped her phone over and told me to go back to sleep. A few nights later, I saw her screen light up at around 1:30 a.m., and she was typing away again. This time, I asked her more directly who was keeping her up so late. That's when she said it. "I'm not your possession. I can converse with anyone I want." I replied, "You're absolutely correct." She seemed taken aback that I didn't argue or get upset. She just turned over and went back to sleep, but my mind was racing with thoughts about her words. The next morning, while Ashley was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. The screen lit up with a text from Brandon saying, "Good morning, beautiful. Can't wait to see you today." Brandon, her ex from college whom she claimed to despise. The guy who treated her poorly and she never wanted to see again. Apparently, things had changed. I didn't mention the text to Ashley. Instead, I began to observe her behavior more closely and consider my options. Over the next few days, I noticed Ashley going out more often, running errands that took hours, meeting with friends I had never heard of, and returning home with stories that didn't quite match up. Meanwhile, the late-night texting continued, always accompanied by that same secretive smile and defensiveness whenever I was near her phone. Tuesday night, Ashley announced she was going out with her friend Maria on Wednesday evening for a girls' night and would probably be back late. On Wednesday morning, I called in sick to work and told Ashley I wasn't feeling well. She seemed concerned and offered to stay home, but I insisted she should stick to her plans with Maria. Ashley left around 6 p.m., dressed much more elaborately than usual for a girls' night, tight dress, heels, full makeup, and said she'd text me when she was on her way home. Around 8 p.m., I decided to check her social media and called Maria directly to ask if she had seen Ashley recently. Maria replied she hadn't seen her since last weekend. So, Ashley was definitely lying about her plans. I didn't search for her or try to catch her in the act. I simply noted her dishonesty and began considering my next steps. Ashley returned home around midnight with a complicated story about how she and Maria had a fantastic time and lost track of time because Maria was going through relationship issues and needed to talk. I pretended to believe every word she said, asking how Maria was doing and if she felt better after their conversation. Ashley spun a whole tale about Maria's boyfriend troubles and how they stayed out late to support her. On Thursday morning, after Ashley left for work, I contacted my landlord and explained that my girlfriend had been living with me, but we were breaking up and I needed her removed from the apartment. "Is she on the lease?" he asked. "No, just me," I replied. "Then you need to give her written notice to vacate. A minimum of 30 days since she's been there more than a week." He explained the legal process for removing someone who wasn't on the lease but had established residency and advised me to follow the proper procedures to avoid any legal issues. I drafted a formal 30-day notice to vacate, citing a breach of lease terms since only I was authorized to live there, and subletting wasn't allowed without written consent. Thursday evening, Ashley returned to her late-night texting routine. Phone face down, secret smiles, the whole 9 yards. She mentioned she might go out with Maria again soon. "Sounds fun," I said. "You should definitely spend time with your friends." On Friday morning, after Ashley left for work, I served the eviction notice by taping it to her bathroom mirror where she would surely see it. I also sent her a copy via certified mail to fulfill all legal requirements. The notice gave her 30 days to vacate, explaining that she wasn't an authorized resident and needed to make other living arrangements. Friday evening, Ashley came home and went straight to the bathroom. I heard her rip the notice off the mirror. "What is this? An eviction notice?" she exclaimed. "You said you're not my possession and can talk to whoever you want." I replied, "You're absolutely right. You're also not my responsibility anymore." "You can't just kick me out," she insisted. "I'm not kicking you out. I'm following the legal process to remove an unauthorized resident from my apartment. You have 30 days to find somewhere else to live." "This is insane. We're dating." "We were dating," I corrected her. "It's hard to maintain a relationship with someone who lies about where they are and who they're with." "I haven't lied about anything," she shot back. "You told me you were with Maria Wednesday night. I called Maria, and she hadn't seen you since last weekend." Ashley's face turned pale as she began to stammer about how plans changed, and she forgot to mention it. "Plans changed to what exactly?" I pressed. "I ended up going out by myself. Just needed some alone time." "Alone time that required lying to me about being with Maria?" Ashley tried to explain that she didn't want me to worry about her being out alone and used Maria as cover because she thought I'd be upset. "Ashley, you're texting someone named Brandon at 2 a.m. You're lying about where you are in the evenings. You're dressing up for mystery solo activities. The relationship is over." "Who's Brandon?" "Your ex, whom you're apparently back in contact with. The one texting you good morning, beautiful." She realized I had seen her phone and started to cry, saying Brandon was just a friend who was going through a tough time and needed someone to talk to. "That's fine. You can talk to him as much as you want, just not while living in my apartment." "Where am I supposed to go?" "That's something you have 30 days to figure out." Ashley spent the weekend trying to persuade me to change my mind, claiming she'd cut contact with Brandon and would be completely honest about her activities. She acknowledged her mistakes but wanted to work things out. I told her the eviction notice was final. She had made it clear that she wasn't my possession, and I completely agreed. She wasn't my property, nor was she my responsibility. Update, 2 weeks later. Ashley has been scrambling to find somewhere to live. Most of her friends aren't in a position to have long-term guests, and she can't afford a decent apartment on her own. She attempted to move back in with her parents, but that lasted only 3 days. They lived 2 hours away, and Ashley couldn't handle the commute to work. Brandon turned out to be useless for housing support. He lives with roommates and couldn't accommodate a girlfriend moving in. Ashley found a studio apartment that she can barely afford, much smaller and more expensive than she hoped, but it's what's available on short notice. Her friends started asking questions once they learned about the eviction notice. She tried to explain that I was being unreasonable and controlling, but people wanted more details. I didn't volunteer information, but when directly asked, I explained that Ashley had been lying about her whereabouts and maintaining secret contact with her ex. Most people understood my position once they heard the facts. Ashley's financial situation became complicated quickly. Going from sharing costs to covering everything alone was a shock. She had grown accustomed to the lifestyle my income helped support. She argued that the eviction was illegal since we were in a relationship. I directed her to my landlord, who explained that relationship status doesn't override lease terms or residency laws. The 30-day period ends next Friday. Ashley has been packing gradually, but still hopes I'll change my mind. Update 2. 1 month later, Ashley moved out on schedule, took her belongings, and left her key without any final drama. I believe she finally accepted that the decision was permanent. Her new living situation has required adjustments. The studio apartment is expensive and cramped compared to my place. She's had to cut back on shopping and entertainment to make rent. Brandon vanished from the picture once Ashley was genuinely single and available. It turned out he was only interested in the thrill of secret texting with someone else's girlfriend. When she became available, he lost interest entirely. Ashley attempted to reach out a few times, asking if enough time had passed for us to reconsider. She claimed she realized she'd made a huge mistake and learned her lesson about honesty. I reminded her that she told me she wasn't my property and could talk to whoever she wanted. She was absolutely right about that. The difference was that now she got to exercise that freedom in her own apartment. Her social circle noticed the shift in her circumstances. Transitioning from shared expenses in a nice place to struggling with rent in a studio apartment was evident to everyone. Several mutual friends inquired about what had happened. I kept it straightforward. Ashley wanted the freedom to maintain relationships with other people while we were together. I granted her that freedom by ending our relationship so she could pursue whatever she wanted. Final update. 6 weeks later, Ashley has been discovering that independence comes with its own set of costs. Her new apartment consumes most of her paycheck, leaving little for the lifestyle she was used to. She posted on social media about learning to be strong and independent, but the comments from those who know the real story weren't particularly supportive. Brandon moved on to someone else entirely, another girl from his social circle who doesn't have relationship complications. Ashley learned that men who pursue taken women aren't looking for serious commitments. My life has improved significantly. There's no more wondering who she's texting at 2 a.m., no more suspicious stories about where she's been, and no more tiptoeing around someone who claimed basic questions were controlling behavior. I started seeing someone new who understands that relationships require honesty and communication. No secret texting, no mysterious errands, no elaborate lies about evening plans. Ashley's friends have been supportive, but realistic about her situation. Most of them understood why I ended things once they learned she had been lying and maintaining secret contact with her ex. She asked through mutual friends if there was any chance for reconciliation. I told them Ashley could talk to whoever she wanted and live wherever she wished. She just couldn't do both while being my girlfriend and living in my apartment. Ashley learned that wanting freedom and independence sounds appealing until you actually have to pay for it yourself. She desired the excitement of secret relationships while keeping the stability of our partnership. She got exactly what she asked for: complete freedom to talk to anyone she wanted, whenever she wanted. She just didn't expect that freedom to come without my financial and emotional support. The apartment has been peaceful, and my finances are healthier without supporting someone who is leveraging my stability while exploring other options. Sometimes the best response to, "You don't own me," is simply agreeing and demonstrating it by walking away. Ashley thought she could have everything without commitment or consequences. She discovered that choices come with costs and freedom isn't free.